come out in discussion with various colleagues during the day that, you know, obviously there's been the question asked, who are you going to do this with? You know, is this envisaged that it would be with a whole year group, that suddenly you get all your department motivated and they do it with all their Year 9 classes? Or is this something much more for an extracurricular activity that's run as a club? And I think that really depends. And there are certain things here which are things for individual schools to work out by themselves and what's feasible. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense to try it with a smaller group. And to take volunteers. I mean, I think really a lot of the work for this will be done by them in their groups after a session of input from you, not necessarily a regular after-school thing that you need to run now right the way through the year. You might offer a drop-in lunchtime where you're going to be there and groups will come and see you. And clearly it does need, the way does need to be paved with you sort of giving a clear lead and giving a vision. When you say, you know, there's a film competition, immediately there'll be a sort of imagination flow from the students, and they will start thinking blockbuster and whatever. And whilst you don't want to curb their creativity at all, you do want to then bring them back down to reality, make them realise that, you know, this is foreign language film, there will be some dialogue in there, it's going to be filmed on one of these tiny little cameras, and you know, you haven't got a multi-million-pound budget to make it work, and all of those sorts of things, as well as the length. All of those things will make it into something that will run perhaps easiest for you in your schools, and also probably in a cluster of schools around you, if it's becoming just something that you don't try and put into the whole year group. You know, this is the first time through as a competition with deadlines, and I think obviously a lot of us here have done little bits of filmmaking with our classes, some more than others, and there's a variety of experience and expertise amongst your student body, but also amongst you as staff. But equally, this is building into something quite big, and the reason for that is really that it will raise the profile of languages across the country. The idea is that even if just one group of 4 or 3 from each of the schools produce something really good, the mileage that we would all get out of that in terms of being part of something bigger would just be immense. You know, you play them in your assemblies and the whole of the school gets to see them. You play them in a public ceremony that gets, you know, like an Oscars at the Arts Picturehouse, and it gets regional stroke national coverage, and we all get to be a part in that, and we all get to claim that and report on that in our own magazines and our own newsletters. And all of a sudden we've combined languages, as is being done a lot at the moment, with something that's very much the stuff of their lives and the stuff that they are into, something that they will be motivated to do outside the classroom. Completely syncs in with the messages of the new secondary curriculum, that learning should be completely active, it should be going on outside the classroom and not just within the confines of the lesson and within the physical confines of the classroom itself. So we're ticking new secondary curriculum boxes. I in my mind, can see Year 9s that have been involved in it, however many that is, using it in their GCSE oral as something to describe and talk about, that they would be really motivated to talk about when they get to choose a topic. So they do a picture presentation and discussion, and they've got a still from the film, and we say to them, oh, you know, tell me what you did last year, that looks really interesting, and they talk about who they worked with, what they decided to do, where they got the music from, what was hard, what was easy, what was great, and all of a sudden they've got 50% of their GCSE grade by describing something that they've done the previous year. Major motivating factor will be that they get an audience for their work, and that their work is not something that's in a book or even a PowerPoint that they've made that no one else gets to see. The teacher just marks it. This will be something that's potentially got a very, very great coverage and reaches a wider audience. So I hope that you can all see the mileage in it. I'm really excited about being involved in it. I know that there are obstacles that we need to overcome during the year. If you were hoping that you would be involved in it the whole time, and you look at the schedule and there are 3 dates there where you need to be out of school, and all of a sudden your head of department's got a problem with that, there will be individual workarounds that we're going to need to do to make sure that people can carry on and take part in the project. Of course, it doesn't have to be one person that's coming out the whole time, and this could become something where it's also about empowering teachers and bringing us up to speed with what's going on out there, and giving us new skills that we really feel that we can work with. And of course the skills and the experiences we have will live beyond the project, because into the future the idea is really that there would be always an outlet for films at the end, but not that each year we would continue to run 4-day courses, you know, starting with this one and then having these workshops. It would be once the expertise is there, then we are the ones that need to disseminate it across our region, and there will be a much laxer format with just a competition deadline at the end, you know, submit by this date, and a little pro forma that says the films have to be 5 minutes and all of those things. But how you do that, whether you do that on one curriculum extension day, whether you do that, you know, drip feed since year 7, that's kind of up to each individual school then. But this year through, to try it and get it on the map, and also get a video, DVD made of the whole process, so that that would help any other schools that have had nothing to do with it at all. If we're trying to say to them, you know, make film, it's great, and they go, oh, I haven't got a clue, where would I start, what would the structure be? There will be these days on film for people to watch highlights of the film on a DVD that would really give every teacher the sense of how you go about organising this. The deadlines, for example, of putting in the idea, the genre, the little proposal and the outline, just that essential planning stage, is the 30th of September. After the 10th of September, there would then be 20 days for people to firm those up. But you would probably have already started talking to the group or whoever you wanted to be involved in it. You'd have started talking to those already, so that you'd recruited that interest and had an idea of who was going to come. This shouldn't necessarily be limited to us, obviously. The idea, and you'll probably realise that you were kind of specially invited, and we wanted to spread across the whole region, so that we have people strategically placed that might have their own little networks of schools, their own sort of, you'll have your collaboratives, you might have your SLN networks, you might have just a few mates in other schools that you think, hang on, this is too good to miss. The idea would be from today that you do try and bring other people on board, and if you can spread that enthusiasm widely enough that they go, oh yeah, that's absolutely great, fantastic, I'm going to go for that this year, then obviously they can go onto the wiki and get all of this material and also join in with it. And we would, you know, we'd hope that people will feel that they can cascade everything that they've learnt on each of the days to their groups.